Immediately the issue of native doctors started, and a lot of sacrifices that people coming patronizing him and all that. I had to relocate to my maternal home. My father will always ask me, when are you going back? I say, what kind of question? I just returned. He say, each time you are around, my customers don't come.
Why must everything bad be ascribed to Satan, whereas some of them came from God?
Each time you doubt the word of God, the enemy is happy. Our ladies, I'm sorry to say that they are very useless these days. Today, people shoot movie nonsense in their houses and they will upload it. As at then, 1980s and 2000, early 2000, we have census board. I've come in contact with my Humado. I've played with Zubi Michael. The Nollywood we know before is no longer what it is today. But whatever it is today, it cannot affect my Christian life.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're watching from. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Justsayit Podcast, one of the best podcasts in Nigeria. Here in the studio, you have your anchor, no other person than Oracle. And in this studio today, we have one personality in our midst today. His name is no other person than Mr. Collins. He's also a Nollywood actor known as Emidola Entertainment. He's an evangelist, all in one, embedded in one. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Much. I must say I'm very happy to be here this time, and you guys are doing well.
Thank you.
I must say you guys are doing well.
Thank you.
Your production is top notch, so I'm happy to be your guest this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad you made mention of that. Before we proceed, I just want to call your attention to some certain rules. Okay. Whatever thing you say here, you are fully responsible for that. The podcast is not going to be held responsible for you expressing yourself in whichever way you want. So I hope say you're ready.
You're trying to put fear in me, but I refuse to be scared.
No, you don't have to be scared.
I'm an adult. I've grown, so I know I'm responsible for whatever I do now.
Thank you. And with that, viewers, please, he has given his consent for us to continue. And so many questions will be thrown, and we would like you to just be free, honest, and just say it. Say it the way it is. Just say it. Whatever thing it is, just say it. So that those out there can equally learn, amend, and take some corrections in some areas they've also heard.
Okay.
So let's proceed. And the first question we have for you here is, how did your upbringing, because from our intels, they say a good journalist does not reveal his source of information.
Yeah.
Now, how did your upbringing as the son of a native doctor shape your understanding of spirituality and the divine before you became a Christian?
Well, this is I think I am being taken unawares here, but notwithstanding, is something that I never wanted to bring up or talk about. But since I'm in the house now and viewers are watching, because I know so many people must have been like me. So many people must have been going through what I went through. Coming out from a place or from a loins or being a son of a native doctor, and growing up was very challenging because there are some certain things there is a say that where you come out from matters a lot.
That's right.
Because while growing up, there are some certain things you met that I wasn't comfortable with. You know, I just want to thank God first because he created me and he has a special plans and purpose for my life. So I didn't allow the things that happened in my home to affect me much because of I knew where I'm going. So everything that was happening in my house, listen, this Christianity of a thing was very challenging. Why do I say so? Is because in my home, having a father as a native doctor, there are so many people that patronized him that were Christians, pastors, bishops. They came to the house, they packed their cars, and every one of them want to grow their churches.
This is serious.
Yes, they wanted to grow their churches, and they can do everything possible. I see them coming to my father, running around. So many of them can stay from morning to night just to see the man and they table their matter. My church I'm building doesn't have members. I want to grow the members. I want people to come from far and near to be a member of the church. So a whole lot of things were happening that I even asked myself questions. When the issue of Christianity came into play, I was very scared of pastors. I was very, very scared of pastors because everyone I see, I remember the things that happened in my home. I remember pastors, bishops coming to my house in order to acquire power, just to grow their churches and become relevant in the churches they were.
This is serious.
So in that aspect, I said to myself that if Christianity is like this, I'll just have to give up on it. But notwithstanding, God has purposes and plans. It doesn't matter what happens. All we need to do is to follow the plans of God. So becoming a Christian today is something that is divine. Okay. Because even right in my home, I was not part of what my father was doing.
Okay.
Daniel says something in the scripture. He said that he refused to eat the king's meat. So that was part of the things that happened to me. In a native doctor's house, there were sacrifices that was taking place where goats will be killed, fowls will be killed, a whole lot of yams will be prepared and all that. I wasn't part of those food.
Okay.
I said to myself that, in fact, right from childhood.
Even as a child?
Yes, even right as a child, I didn't eat those things. They will prepare those things, cook or prepare soup and all that with those meat. And my father, my late mom, will always prepare a different food for me. She will always, even if it means dry fish, she will just send people to buy those things and make a little stew.
Just for you?
Just for me, because she knew I wasn't comfortable with those things. My spirit never aligned to those things.
Okay, I know there are so many challenges then. But can you just tell us your biggest challenge you faced, when transiting to your Christianity, like embracing Christianity from your native doctor heritage to, even after seeing most GOs, even after seeing most pastors and people that call themselves men of God, you saw many of them come to your father for power. Yet, you deemed it fit to transit to Christianity, trying to live your heritage as a son of a native doctor. Like, what were your biggest challenge?
Well, my biggest challenge as at then was how to see the real men of God, how to interact with the real men of God, because I felt that everyone that I met at that particular stage of life was just doing what others were doing in my father's house.
Okay.
So I was not seeing anyone as a real pastor. In fact, till 2018, I wasn't seeing any pastor as a real. I go to church because in my house, my father never stopped us from going to church.
Okay.
But is a decision you have to take for yourself. Whether you go to church, it's okay. You don't go to church, it's okay. Because he is not a church fan. So if you decide to go to church, fine. You don't go, fine. So me, there was something in me. There was something in me that was propelling me. This thing keep telling me, go ahead, move on. So if I could stay away from food in my house as at teenage age, from teenage age to adulthood and youth and all that. So if I could stay away from those things, you will understand with me that there was something different. There was something that God wanted to do with my life. Because it wasn't just, as a child, everybody wants to eat meat. Everybody wants to eat food. Everybody wants to have fun and all that. So each time those things are arranged, gathered, you see children gathered and they will eat. But there was something that would just restrict me from eating.
Okay. From what you said you've never seen any man of God as a true man of God, not until 2018.
Yes.
Okay, can I ask what actually changed your mindset from the way you were seeing men of God as of then?
Well, when I left my place of stay after schooling and University of Calabar, I spent some years doing 1 or 2 businesses there. Something moved me from Calabar. 2017, November 2017, something moved me from that place to Port Harcourt. I was in need of a white-collar job.
Okay.
I said to myself, okay, I have to leave Calabar for now and go there and look for a job. So when I came to this place, I had no place to stay, but I had a sister who stays in a particular part of River State.
Okay.
So I had to stay with her. Then one of the days, the Bible says, as Jesus' custom was, he always go to the synagogue to teach. So in one of the Tuesdays, I was still living with my sister. I knew very well that churches normally have Bible studies and programs.
Normal weekly activity.
Yes, I left my house that evening in search of where I can just listen to the word of God. So I came across this church and I passed and something brought me back and said, just enter. I went into the place. People were gathered and a woman was teaching. I can't forget that topic, a counterfeit Christian. Okay. That was what the woman talked about that day. That if you will see Christians, they go to church, they look like original, yet they are not original. When you bring this money, original and counterfeit, it takes only people who know something
to differentiate it
or differentiate that this one is actually counterfeit and this one is original. So I began to, that word never left me, even as I'm speaking with you now. Counterfeit Christian, they look like original, yet they are not original. The woman went further to say, you can see them in churches, so they like going to church, but anything that happens at the church is not their business. They go there in order to get girlfriends. They go there in order to just be entertained and all that. To be frank with you, that was just my life back in Calabar.
Okay.
I attend so many churches. Going to these churches wasn't because I wanted to embrace Christ or whatever. I go there because one person or the other invited me, and each time we go to church, we look at very beautiful ladies and we'll try to see what we can get at the end of the day and all that. So when this woman mentioned these things, and there was this thing that struck my mind. The thing was so serious and heavy on me that even as I left the church, that voice was still echoing me in my ears. It was just a counterfeit Christian. They are just like original, but they are not original. It takes Christ to detect them. And I left Port Harcourt after some days. I returned back to Calabar. But I couldn't be comfortable in Calabar anymore. I had to visit again. So that weekend I came here, I went to the church. Going to the church, that was my first time of attending that church. And that day, they had a new pastor. That same Sunday, a new pastor was sent to the church. This pastor was filled with anointing and all that. He was just manifesting, preaching the word of God and all that. Those things never moved me, but I only said to myself, if this young man can minister this way, then, man, you can do
more better.
If it's education, God has granted you that level, that grace, you have acquired a little bit of it. Then all you need now is to get yourself trained, put yourself in the platform of learning so that you can become who you want to become. But even as he was manifesting, something was just telling me, are you sure he's not those ones that normally
based on your experience?
Yes. I never pay offering in that church for a long time. I never paid tithe for a long time. Why did I not do that? Because I didn't want to sow on a ground that is not fertile. So it came to the knowledge of that pastor. Because after some time, he started calling me closer. We started working. He would give me his laptop, send messages to church members and this and that. He saw that there is something in me, but how can he bring out that thing? So that was when he told me that ever since he came, that I've been coming to this church, that he has not seen me put offering or pay tithe, or just that he's just come there, sit down there at the end of the service, disappear and all that. That was when I opened my mouth. I said, because I've seen a whole lot of you. I just told the pastor, I said, I've seen a whole lot of you in my father's house. So pastorship doesn't move me. You are manifesting in the altar doesn't move me. Except if God revealed to me that this one is actually a servant. Because we have so many people who are pastors, ministers and all that. But we have few who are servants of God.
Okay, this is serious because if I'm to say, anyway, let's leave it for another day. Okay. Now, from the place I come from, let me just say in Igbo tradition, you find out that in most cases, if your father happens to be a native doctor, the eye of the gods, you, the son, it will be difficult for you to transit to Christianity. Very, very difficult.
Sure.
So I want to know, because I know those cultures, those traditions in most places still exist. So I want to know, did your family and community accept your decision to become a Christian, or were there tensions due to the shift in your religious identity? Did they just allow you, okay, since we are free moral agents and he can dictate for himself, he's of age now, did they just allow you just like that and you became a Christian? Were there no tension, no battle, no argument?
Well, this question is actually, when my father was alive,
okay,
I had a, how do I put it? There was this distance between me and my father, which was not there originally. These things came into play when I began to preach to my father. I was not a Christian as at that time, or will I say I was not born again?
Okay.
Yeah, I've not actually given my life to Christ, but I know that this Christ exists. So something in me will always take me to my father, where he will sit down and say, Daddy, this thing you are doing, is it not time that you repent and give your life to Christ, so that these things can be born and thrown away? Because I don't want anything that will happen to me tomorrow and people will tell me it is your turn to come, and because as you are seeing me, I am not interested. That was when my father was alive. So my father will always make a statement before me and my siblings. He said, when I'm gone, if anybody wants to inherit it and continue serving, the person should go ahead. But if there is nobody to worship it, call people, call your pastors, call the group of native doctors, any group that you choose, call them to come and remove these things here. You understand me? But that was the physical aspect of it. But there was something, you know, the spiritual controls the physical.
Okay.
He will always tell us this and all that. But I noticed that as time goes on, he wasn't revealing secrets to me again. As a son.
There was this gap.
Yes, there was this gap. But I didn't want to bother myself because I knew that his ways were not my own way. I had my ways, and I knew that God was taking me somewhere.
Okay.
And where he was taking me is what I wasn't sure. But I know that there was somebody who was leading me. So in that aspect, like I said, the spiritual controls the physical. He said, if there is nobody to take from him, we should destroy those things. But spiritually, it was not so. Because I've had a whole lot of confrontation from my dreams. And I will see even the ones that I didn't see when they were alive. So the group of those people, they will always appear in my dream. And my father will be right in their midst. And I at least I know 3 or 4 persons.
Were they not your ancestors?
Yeah, the ancestors and 3 or 4 persons that I met while they were alive. They went through that path. So they will always come to my dream and say that I am deviating.
Okay.
I am going contrary to what they have set already in the family. So I see myself each time, each time they confront me.
This is serious.
Something will always come into me that it will become a fight in the dream. So at the end of the day, maybe when I will switch over speaking in tongues and all that, they will disappear. So I made it known to them while they were alive that it is not my part. Even as they are dead, I still tell them that it's not my part.
Okay. So you did not just only face confrontation physically.
No, it's not.
Both spiritually.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just. Though I just want to get clarified in this aspect. Okay. Those things that your father was doing then, were it really working? Was it working? One. Then, you said your ancestors, they came to you, like most of them you know.
Yes.
And they were telling you that you are deviating.
Yes.
Okay, so the question is, how did you know that the Christianity was the right one, other than the one you grew up to meet? Your forefather did it, your ancestors did it, and your father did it. Then it got to your turn. You said it's Christianity. Why?
Oh, well, you see, the word of God, the Bible said that the scriptures cannot be broken.
Okay.
And there is a man who came and died for every one of us. Acknowledging and accepting the fact that there is a man who died for us will make you understand that there are 2 ways now to follow. It's either you follow that of the one that is laid in your foundation or that of the man. One thing my father cannot do is to die for my sake.
Okay.
Even as you are there now, there are things that will happen now that you will even pretend that you never knew me. But this man called Jesus Christ is a man who, after everything we did to him, he still bore the iniquities. He brought us back to life. When sin took over everyone, and when iniquity took over everyone, Jesus came. He took over the sins. It was placed on him. That the life I am living today is because he came.
Okay, but those things your father were doing, were they really working?
Okay. And that
because you made mention of some men of God coming to meet him, to be more powerful, to have members per se, to grow their congregation. So the question is, those things, were they really working? And if they were working, whose power was it? You understand? Because I understand that before Christianity came, our people already have
gods.
Not just their own God. Because if you read the Bible, there is a place the Bible said, I will give you a pastor of your own.
That's
You understand?
Jeremiah.
And there are other gods.
Jeremiah 3:15 said that.
That's why you're an evangelist. Thank you, sir. So the question is, those things your father did they really work? Were they really working? And before this Christianity of a thing, those things our forefathers were they doing the right thing? Because if those things they did in those days before Christianity came were wrong, that means just as they say, rapture day, automatically all our ancestors are going to hell. Yes.
Okay.
Because before Christianity came, we've lived.
Every one of them, yes.
So all are going to hell.
Okay. You see, one thing I understand is that this bottle, this thing that you keep here, whatever you call this thing is what it will bear.
Okay.
Anytime you take this thing and call it another name and started calling it that name, people comes to your house, you call it they will start calling it that thing. And one thing about life is that when you start, like, you want to raise a deity, you want to, even here you are now, you can establish here to be an altar, a shrine, a place of God or a place of Satan, based on the sacrifice you make. When you call a particular name, make a sacrifice here, the first day, the second day, the third day, a spirit will appear.
Just like that.
Yes. A spirit from nowhere will appear. Because one thing God likes is sacrifice. And one thing Satan likes is sacrifice also. There are things that you cannot actually get from God, but when you offer a sacrifice, you get them speedily. You understand me? And that is the same thing like Satan. If you want to work with Satan, just take anything that just start calling the name. God. You know, this Satan they talk about is remember that this Satan was just a servant of God. This person is called the son of the morning. This person is someone who knows the secret of God. This person is someone who sings for God. This person is someone who other angels take permission from before they can access the throne of God. So this person is God's PA.
I hear you, sir.
You understand me? So when iniquity was found in him, that iniquity was that he exalted himself to sit in the throne of God.
Okay.
It's just like admiring something and say, hey, which day will I sit like a president in this country? You understand me? Each time you start having that thought, it means that you can go to any extent to actualize that dream. That was iniquity that was found in him. And God couldn't bear it and say, no, one day I'll start contending with this guy over my throne. So there was a fight in heaven. You know, people actually, sometimes they misunderstand that fight. They say God fight Satan. God did not fight Satan. His name is Lucifer.
Okay.
God did not fight him. It was another angel called Archangel, Angel Michael, that war against the Lucifer.
Okay.
He was thrown down. So sending this personality down from heaven to earth.
Without killing him.
This person came and dominated the earth. And no, you know, when the Bible says God created the heavens and the earth was without shape and void, it means that Satan came and scattered everything that God created.
This same Satan.
Until God brought his own spirit and spoke and said, let there be light. So another power came into being to recorrect everything that the enemy has damaged. But remember that God did not take away power from this personality. And this personality now is dragging members with God. He wants to have his own members. Why other people? Why God wants people to serve him? So in order to make it possible for people, when you call him, he answers.
Being Satan,
he answers.
That
is why he empowers people with so much wealth. That is why he empowers people with you know, back in the days when you mentioned that our forefathers were, you know, our forefathers fought a whole lot of fights.
Okay.
From land dispute, community, this, that, they want to get this, they want to get that, and they needed power. And God doesn't give his power for you to use his power to terrorize people. God cannot give you power so that you will use his power to kill other people. But Satan will give you power. It doesn't matter what you want to use it for. Whatever you want to use it for, as long as you recognize him.
Okay, regarding this thing you're saying now, we are not going out of context though.
Okay.
Regarding what you just said now, you said Satan gives you power, not minding what you want to use it for.
Yes.
And God does not do same.
No.
Because they are not of the same.
Yes.
So, if you, I know I may not be that deep in the Bible of a thing, but I know I've gone from Genesis to Revelation at least like 3 times, and you find out that all through the life of the children of Israelites, now war, killing. Sometimes now God go tell and say, do like this, move with praisers, move with the Levites, let the trumpeters go first. In order to win a war, not spiritual battle, like the one they will kill people and split blood. You understand?
Yes.
Now, you will not find out that it's somehow contradicting to what you just said, that God does not give power for you to use it to intimidate or kill people. Yet, in those days, he empowered the children of Israelite, even to a point of bringing his presence to the ark. What they call the ark of God. Once you carry that thing, anywhere you go with that ark, you can destroy. So, is it not contradicting what you're saying?
Well,
meaning that whatever thing Satan is doing, he learned it from God.
Yes. Everything that Satan is doing, he learned it from God.
Okay.
But he's doing it in another way.
Really?
Yes. When you mention the children of Israel and God always fights for the children of Israel. It's just like someone you love so much, you always defend that person.
Okay.
Whatever that will make that person happy is what you want to do. But do you know that even as at today, that there are still people in the land of Israel that have not believed that Jesus has come and gone?
Sure. That's
so. If you read it, you will understand that things sometimes are not done the way it ought to be done. That is why sometimes we are not carried away with what people preach and teach.
Okay.
We always pray for God to give us a direction. Have a personal relationship with God, that you can be able to detect what is wrong and what is right. Because what other people read, I can read John 3:16, for God so loved the world and he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should should not perish, but have everlasting life. I can interpret it in my own way. And 10 other people can interpret that same John 3:16 in their own different knowledge and understanding. So if you are not aware or you don't have the knowledge of Christ in that context, whatever anyone says, you will accept it. I've been in the church where people will preach the word of God. The Spirit of God will tell me it is not that way. So,
really?
Yes. One thing about life is that it doesn't matter if they go die for church, if you let it go, have a personal relationship with God, that God can actually tell you, I am the one speaking and I'm not the one speaking. The voice that we hear today, we have the voice that even Satan speaks to us. God speaks to us. In fact, it takes people time now to know if God is actually speaking to them. You understand me? So like you said, in the land of Egypt, God's power is not to use and intimidate people. But when you cry to God, when you are being abused, when you are being humiliated, when you are being, people are threatening to put you to shame, and you cry to God, if you are on the right track, God will always come to shield you. When Jehoshaphat cried to God because the land of Ammon and they gathered, they wanted to come and fight the land of Israel. Jehoshaphat went to God and said, these people, I don't know what I am going to do, because if it's war, we don't have the soldiers that will match these people. What should I do? God said, you don't have to do anything. All you need to do, gather everyone that is under you. Let them come out that day. Let them sing praise to me and allow me do the work.
Okay. Okay. So before we proceed there, I'm still waiting for the response to my question.
Okay.
Those things your father was doing and your ancestors did then. Was it really working? Since there is nobody to take over from. Since there is nobody to take over now, because you bluntly refuse.
I've gone ahead of
You've gone ahead of that.
Even them, they know.
So who is in charge now?
In charge?
Nobody.
No, nobody.
Oh yeah, answer me now. Was it really working?
Like I was saying, for anything to work for you, it must come from your heart.
Okay.
If a pastor must pray for you and it worked, your heart, your faith must say that it will work. Even as our generals are now, in the person of David Oyedepo, Baba, all of them, Pastor David BMA, as highly anointed as they are, there are people they have prayed for that nothing happens.
Okay.
It's not because these people does not have the power or the grace that God has granted them to elevate men. It's just that the faith of the people they have prayed for did not connect. Okay. So those things that our fathers were serving, it was working for them based on their own belief.
Okay.
You understand me? In fact, they believe so much that if I give an alligator pepper to this thing and say something, it will happen that way. Once your faith is active, even God cannot stop you. Once you have a faith that moves mountain, God cannot stop you. You understand me? That is why I said before that sacrifice is something that God can see. He can't turn away from sacrifice. So the enemy learned it also. Our people those days, do you know what it means to use a human head to sacrifice to an altar that you raise for Satan? Even Satan would stand up and walk. Because this human being is a person created by God. So if you remember, there was a man in the scripture that said, Lord, if I fight these people and defeat them, whatever comes out from my house as I return will be a sacrifice to you. This man killed the only daughter. And God granted him.
Hoping it was the dog that will come and meet him. But did God accept the sacrifice?
Why not?
Even as he's a human.
Why not?
So is there any difference between that sacrifice and that of our forefathers?
He made that pronouncement. God did not ask.
Oh yeah, now what of the one God asked Abraham by himself? Say, bring your son for me.
Okay, if God asked Abraham, he took Isaac to the place. He did not defend Isaac.
Who?
God defended Isaac.
No, if you listen to most preachers like this, our papas, as you mentioned earlier, they will tell you that Abraham actually killed Isaac. That Isaac actually died.
Yes.
Now, of all the things that Abraham had, why should God request for human being the only son as of then?
God was not requesting for Isaac.
Okay.
God was trying to tempt or to see the faith of Abraham.
What if Abraham was so swift, was so fast to kill Isaac?
God is a master planner of everything.
And he also knew that our forefathers would be serving their God before now.
Oh, yes.
And he did not kill them.
God said, I have placed before you life and death. But I advise that you choose life, which is life.
Okay.
God do not force people to do something. If God wanted to force us, nobody will even turn back to commit sin.
Okay.
Sin is just a free will. You understand me? If God did not, he knew from the day we were born that a day like this is coming to be. So if God did not want this day to take place, he would have brought it before now. This day will not exist.
Okay.
I will not come in contact with you.
That means he knew that even Judas would betray Jesus.
Of course, that was why he added him.
So why Judas?
Why Judas?
Yes.
Because he saw that Judas loved money so much. He saw...
No, remember I said, you said, even before we were born, he knows us. Right? So you want to tell me that God purposefully and intentionally molded Judas, put him in the mother's womb for him to be born only to be a vessel of destruction, and then later he will send him to hellfire. No, I want to know now.
Mr. Presenter, let me tell you something. Based on what you're asking me now, if we remember the case of Cain and Abel, I want to use this. I
will still ask you a question there.
I want to use this to Cain and Abel when they were in their mother's womb. These are people who knew nothing.
Okay.
In fact, they have not even become human beings. But in the sight of God, they were human beings.
Okay.
But in that same place, God said that the elder will serve the younger. There are 2 nations in your womb. And when they came out, such manifested. If God was to change it, if God did not want it to happen, because anything that God said must surely come to pass. If it doesn't come to pass, it will make God a liar. And God hates being called a liar.
Okay.
So whether good or bad, as long as it's said, it must come to pass. So just like you and I now, if God didn't want me to be here now, there are so many distractions that can make it not to come to pass.
Okay.
But because he knew that a day like this will come, when we're growing, when we're coming up, there are decisions that we can make that will change the plans of God towards our life. When Judas, which you asked, when Judas was born and raised and all that, you know, this person is a thief.
Who made him a thief?
Of course, God cannot make anybody a thief. It's a decision you have chosen.
No, meaning that was his destiny.
It's a choice.
He was destined to be a thief.
It's a choice. Tomorrow I can become a thief. You can become a thief.
Meaning that God knows that tomorrow you become a thief.
Why he allowed me now is to make a decision, make a choice.
And then when you make that decision, he will allow you to carry out.
Yes, he wants us to make the right decision, the right choice. Okay. That is why he left the bad and the good. But he advised that we choose the good.
Okay.
God doesn't force people to do something.
I know we are free moral agents.
That is what I want us to understand. Even if you are a thief in the womb, God allows you to come up and see if you can have a change based on your interaction with people, whether your mind.
Even knowing the end of the person, that this person will not change.
Even if you cannot change, it's just to the glory of God.
Wow. That's a wonderful one.
It's just everything that happens.
So Judas's attitude and character
was to make the prophecy fulfilled.
To be fulfilled, yes. To his own detriment.
If not, Jesus wouldn't have died.
To his own detriment.
If not Judas, Jesus wouldn't have died for every one of us.
Anyway, on the judgment day,
he was the one that came and kissed him and said,
we will know how the judgment day will look like that day. We will know where they will place Judas, because he didn't call for that.
That's why you have to be righteous, so that you will be there while the judgment is taking place.
Wow, this is a topic for another day. This is a topic for another. So how did your personal beliefs and practices evolve during your journey from native traditions to Christian faith? You know, you can't just tell me that, just as you said while you were growing up, your mom will always send for other items to make food for you. You know, you remember this because you're of age as of then. But I can still put it to you that in one way or the other, you must have tested some of those meals before you now got to your senses of what Christianity is and what traditional practices is. So,
well, you are taking me deeper now. And my daddy did not become a native doctor when I was a kid.
Okay.
My daddy was actually a man of hard work. My dad was working in a fuel station, and yeah, my dad made money early early. In fact, if you go to my community, I know our house is not that big, but it was the first block house that was led in my community. My dad drove cars when cars 504 was 504.
Even as a native doctor.
No, he wasn't a native doctor.
Before.
That's what I'm trying to let you know now. My dad drove at 504. All these foreign cars
as of then
down 80s, 70s to 80s. You understand me?
Oh, yeah.
Now, my dad wanted to travel abroad after he has married. He wanted to travel abroad. He was the only son. So, trying to travel abroad, the mom told him and said, you don't have to travel abroad this way because I don't want them to kill you. You are my eyes. I think you should go and meet so person, so that he can be able to fortify you.
Okay.
So that nothing will happen to you as you travel this journey. Then we are into existence. He has given birth to us and all that. So going to that place, he was deceived that his destiny was not to travel abroad. That his destiny was to use this aspect to take care of people.
Okay, he was deceived.
Yes.
We'll look into that, but let's just continue.
So as the mentality is that time, he started going to that man, becoming a friend to a native doctor. He started going to him. He would tell him, get these herbs, get these leaves, get this and all that. That was how
they lured him in and deceived him, Abi. No problem.
So as at that time, when they met him and they brought him back to the house and said that you are going to have your own shrine, that I've come of age. I think I should be around 15.
There are so many things you've said here which I wouldn't want us to debate more on it now. It will be topic for another day.
It's okay.
But let's proceed. You said your father was deceived. He was lured into serving some deities, having shrine of his own.
Yes.
That's a discussion for another day. So in what ways did your background as the son of a native doctor, influence your understanding of the Christian faith and teachings? Knowing fully whether you are a native doctor's son, we just have to call a spade a spade. Despite that you say your father was lured and deceived, the identity is there as a son of a native doctor. Now, how did in what ways did your background, how did it shape your understanding of Christian teachings and their ways?
Well, I've made mention of this before now. Growing up from such having such experiences and seeing such things and at the same time putting yourself to become a Christian and not just a Christian, but today ministering the word of God to other people. If I had allowed my background, I would have been where others are.
A strong native doctor now.
Yes, I would have. Because even till now, so many people in my village, in my community, they still don't fashion this Christianity of a thing. You understand me? He said, leave your father's house to a place I will show you. He knew that being on a neutral place.
And there was shrine in Abraham's father's house.
Yes.
I
know. So that was how I'm bringing this issue now.
Sorry, why did God only ask only Abraham to leave and allow others to keep on serving the shrine? Like he asked only Abraham. He wants to save only Abraham.
Well, because in a family, there are people who will yield themselves. So, in fact, there are uncles that will come to your house. They will specifically bless you. They will want to give you something. In fact, even in our families today, there are some of the children that our parents favored most. Your father can tell you, I don't have money, and another son will come. Your father will bring out 200 or 500 and give to the person. It doesn't mean that you are not your father's son. It means that this person is playing an important role that makes your father happy. So your father can give his last card to make sure that he is happy. Even today, there is a relationship you will build with God. God can destroy nation for your sake.
God.
So, bringing Abraham, he knew that Abraham had this soft mind, and Abraham was a man willing to serve God. Abraham never took the relationship of him and God for granted. You understand me? This is someone that God always appear to. And despite how long he has known God, each time he hears the voice of God, he will always face ground. That's humility. That's humility. You understand me?
So what you're trying to say is your background as of then, as the son of a native doctor, did not actually affect you.
No, I knew where I was going. In fact, let me say this. Immediately the issue of native doctor started, and a lot of sacrifices that people coming patronizing him and all that. I had to relocate to my maternal home because I wasn't comfortable with everything. I was a child, but my spirit was not comfortable with whatever happening there. In fact, the primary school, I ended it. The secondary school, I finished it in my maternal home. You understand me? And going to university, that was when I returned to my father. In fact, it got to an extent in my father's house that each time I returned from university, on vacation, and came back to the house, being my father's house, my father will always ask me, when are you going back? I said, what kind of question? I just returned. He said, each time you are around, my customers don't come. There is scarcity of customers each time my presence is in the house. So you will understand that it was not just to me. The Bible said that every first son that openeth the womb belongs to God.
Wow. As I be first son now, as I be God property.
Yes, you be God property.
Hey.
A lot of us do not know. There are things that will happen to others that will happen to you, and God will shift it. God will always spare you. Whether you have understood that you belong to him or not, he will always want to pamper you, grant you that grace until you come to the full knowledge and understanding that actually I am supposed to be a God's property.
Okay. See, there are so many things we need to really,
after here, just go home, listen to it, draft your questions, and
I have them already. From what you're saying, from everything you've been explaining, you're making it look as if this God you're talking about is a partial God. Yes, that's how I see it.
My God is not a partial God.
Every first son is God's property, and he pampers them. he protects them until they become of age and get to know him, one-on-one. But let's just,
God is not a partial God, though. When it comes to the issue of Esau and Jacob, remember what happened. That Jacob was the one favored.
Okay.
Even as Esau was the first.
Jacob was the one favored out of his trickishness and cunning.
That is what I'm telling you.
Yes, God
is there. Not partial. God cannot stop you. He can't stop you.
No. Let's look at it this way. God was there when Jacob trickishly, deprived his elder brother of his rights.
Oh, of course, it wasn't Jacob. It was the mom. So the mom wanted to stand him out. Yes. So at times, there are people who help you to get faster to your destination. Okay. There are people who help you to get there. Maybe you have actually toil waiting for the day. But there are people who will come into your life. They will just shoot you. Within what you are supposed to take 10 years, 5 years to achieve, there are people that will come into your life in a year, in 6 months, you're already there.
My question is just, if God already know our end from the beginning, like he knows that a day will come when Jacob will steal the birthright of his elder brother and become so successful, and he will still be there. He will not do anything. He's just busy looking at it's like it's just movie. It's like God just just played a movie in heaven and he's just there watching us and we are just living our life. Everybody's just doing what he has already known that will play.
Okay.
And yet, so if that be the case, what's the essence of praying?
What you have said now, listen, we are, this earth you are seeing is like a written script.
You've said it all.
We are the actors.
Okay.
And we'll have someone who is an spectator. We'll have someone who have written the script. Who want this script to be played the way it's written. Well, I don't want to take us deep to the things of God, like I said, because if we start it, maybe we might not actually end it.
Maybe in season 2.
Anyhow you want it, but don't believe God is not a partial God. That's what I want you to understand. Yes.
Okay. No problem, because it's funny.
This presenter, it's funny.
He was there when Ken killed his brother. He was there when Ken killed his only brother. He did not do anything. He did not say anything. He loved Abel, right? Now, he now came and started asking Ken, where is your brother?
He loved both of them. But what changes?
Sir, let me put it to you that if your father should come before you and your younger brother and said, you will serve your younger brother. Sir, psychologically, everything about you will change, even towards your father and towards your younger brother.
But remember that this thing was not mentioned to these children.
It was not.
It was the mother that this thing was told.
And you think mothers don't relate with their children? And you think babies don't hear in the womb? Bible says when Moses was yet in the womb, the mother was speaking to Moses. 3 months old, the mother was telling Moses that you are not from Egypt, though. And Moses got that knowledge even when he was of age, 40 years. So, sir,
he served in Egypt. He served in Egypt.
Ken killed his only brother. He did not intervene. He allowed them to kill themselves. He allowed Ken to kill the brother. Then he now came back and started asking Ken, where is your brother? As if he didn't see the scenario, like he didn't see Ken killing the brother. Is it not awkward? Is it not strange?
You see, presenter, let me tell you, the things of God it's too mysterious.
Sorry. See, it's mysterious, and at times we need to think outside the box. We are not going out of content, though, but see, come to think of it, this God, I know He's merciful and He's so loving.
Yes.
Assuming you are Job, you are just on your own. No? The Bible says He's too holy to behold iniquity. That He cannot see sin.
Yes.
Now in Job 1:6, he say a day came when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan was among. The problem himself was among the sons of God, and he gave him audience. That was not just the only day. It repeated itself the next day. Now, God left other sons of his and started having conversation with Satan that did not talk to him first. He spoke to devil first. He said, Enya, where have you been?
That one said
devil now said, I have he said,
walking to and fro. Yes, now because he doesn't have a place of abode.
He now brought Job, an innocent man, a businessman, an man that was busy waiting for his container.
So that Job is an man.
He's a businessman. Now, God now brought him into the discussion. He said, have you noticed my son Job?
Have you seen him?
So, all the problems Job faced to a point that Job opened his mouth and cursed the day he was born. Sir, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Up to the point that even the wife cursed him. The friends left him. Now, does it not occur to you that most of the problems we are facing is from God?
Okay, let me will have to run faster, but I want to tell you something about this. I want you to live a life that even God can boast because of you.
Boast it with who?
What God was doing was to tell, Satan believed that there was nobody that could serve God very well. apart from him. So that was what God said to Satan. Have thou seen my servant Job? That there is no one. God was trying to uplift Job in the sight of Satan. You understand? So that, you can use your own son to brag and tell people that my son is doing well.
In those days, I remember if our parents should boast of us, like, we will go fight. This one will say, my son go beat your son. As of that time when I was still tender, I know at least I don't get sense more that time.
Sense, thank God, is small.
We go fight. You go see adults, parents, looking at two kids, exchanging blows and throw this one on the floor to actually prove that my son is strong. It got to a point, when we'll now realize ourselves, if he boasts with us, we'll run. Because now they receive the blow, now they receive the pain. So even God himself, you're talking about boasting. He's the highest, right?
Yeah.
So who is he bragging you with? Like, who is he boasting of you with? Like, who you want to say you be a son? He's the ultimate. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, sir, let's not go there, because there are a lot of things.
If not, you say that let's not go there, because you have just concluded on that issue. But I don't want you to conclude on such issue. Listen, you see the life of Job.
Why is it that any little thing for the father is something bad, Satan will be accused? I use the word accused because I put it to you that even on the very last day, if God should ask you, Mr. Collins, do you know this person here? You will say no.
Which person is that?
Whoever he will show you.
Let me understand. Now, because I will not be where you will ask me if I know Satan.
Do you know Satan? Have you seen him? Now he will not tell you that. Do you know that this is the Satan you've been accusing of? He's the one responsible of this. He's the one. Why must everything bad be ascribed to Satan, whereas some of them came from God?
Because Satan is the author of bad thing.
How?
Everything that happens bad is Satan.
Yet sin was found in heaven. Sin.
Yes.
Why was sin in heaven where God dwelt?
Can you go down to another question? Because this question you are bringing, if we start it,
okay,
you will not end it.
No problem.
You will not end it.
Not that I'm trying to praise Satan.
No, the way you are trying is as if you are in line with Satan now. You like what he's doing.
No. The thing is, everything bad, we are always putting it on this innocent
Yes,
man.
because he is did you call Satan innocent
He's
man?
Innocent.
Innocent over what?
Sir, how do you come out boldly and say it's Satan that made you to impregnate a woman?
The Bible said in John.
The
Bible said in John 10:10, it said, "The thief cometh, but to steal, kill, and destroy." There is nothing good about this person you are calling. When he was cast down from heaven, all his agenda was to make sure that nobody praises God. In fact, why the enemy will have to come and block your way today on your way to success is not because he's interested in your success. It's not because he's looking after your money. It's not because he wants your car. It's not because he wants your children. It's not because he wants your wife. The only thing that Satan will look at and come to your life is to give you a misery that you will doubt the word of God if it's truly working. Each time you doubt the word of God, the enemy is happy.
Okay, no problem.
So he takes away whatever you are supposed to get in order to frustrate you, so that you will begin to ask if God exists.
No problem, sir. I've heard you, sir. No problem. But we are coming back for this. Coming back for this. So,
no problem.
Without let's go to another
dimension
part of this.
Okay.
As a movie producer. Okay. One who is into the entertainment.
Okay.
We are meant to believe that as a child of God, he said, "Be ye not conformed to the world." Abi? I don't know how now they're talking about.
Romans 12:1 and 2.
But be ye transformed.
Be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind.
You are in the world, but you are not of the world.
Yes.
We are meant.
You are a Bible scholar. Continue, sir. Sorry.
Jehovah. We are meant to believe that the movie industry, Nollywood per se, let me not generalize it because we have Hollywood and the rest
Bollywood, yeah.
Nollywood, per se, we believe and we are meant to believe, and by facts and evidence is gathered, we believe is not somewhere conducive for a Christian. Though we have Christian movies, but as one who is into, should I say it's contemporary, or how do you people call it? You feature in
any kind of movie.
Any kind of movie.
Yes.
Now, what motivated you to continue in the movie industry, even as a Christian, knowing too well that there are a lot of temptations there, and in most roles they may ask you to play a role where you act as a father, as a husband. Now you see yourself kissing a lady that is not your wife, that is not your girlfriend, all in the name of trying to portray a message, trying to convey a message to the masses. It may be that you're teaching something nice through that particular thing you're displaying, but in the other way around, don't you think it's also somehow affecting your Christianity? So what motivated you as a Christian to continue in movie industry?
Well, continuing in the movie industry is a decision I took by myself. One, because the way people paint Nollywood to be is not what it is.
Really?
Yes. One thing about Nollywood is that if I give you a contract to execute, due to your dubious mind, you will want to get something from that contract. And people out there who wants to do this work, they are ready to play along.
Okay.
They are ready, in fact, to bribe you in order for you to give them that job. What is killing us today in the industry is our mindset and our overambitious. Nobody wants to be patient again to go through trainings to understand what movie industry is all about. I listen, this industry, I am not a superstar. I am not a superhero. I am not a super golder. I am just a person who have come to understand one thing about writing script, screenplay, produce if I have money, and personally act if the case may be. And I joined this in 2004. 2004.
What?
Yes, November 2004. I started from theater. I met some people, doing some rehearsal. That was when I wanted to write my Wayeka. So I came across them and I saw what they were doing. From a window, I told them, I can do this, If this English, I feel speak, I'm small. The guy said, are you sure? I said, yes. He said, okay, come tomorrow. So that was how I joined. From the training, we registered. They told us that there is a place, Nollywood, AG, and Actors Guild of Nigeria, that if you must continue acting, you will become a registered member. After then, I registered AGN 4,000 naira, which AGN is today 30,000, 40,000 in different states. We registered. We have gone series of training. What I mean by training is that everyone that happens to be a director, a producer, once you come in contact with them, you just want to worship them so that they can teach you one or two things in the industry. But the people we have today is not people that wants to learn. They are people that wants to sell their body and obtain a role. Okay. There are people that wants to pay money to a director. Just like I say, if I give you a contract, these directors, they want to, what is given to them to direct, they want to use it to make small additional money for themselves. So if you happens to be one of the victims who want to pay money, they will collect and give you a role. If you say you don't have money, you want to give them because they say if it's not cash, it's kind. Now you want to go by kind. Our ladies, I'm sorry to say that they are very useless these days. This is no longer the Nollywood I know that happens at the 80s and 90s when movie was movie. When you watch movie, you understand that people actually took their time to play this movie. People actually read. People actually go through rehearsals in order to come out and play. Today, people shoot movie nonsense in their houses and they will upload it. As at then, 1980s and 2000, early 2000, we have censors board where your movie can go through censor and they will check it if it's violent to the audience, if it's okay to watch, if it's okay for home for family to watch. They will go through these things. That if it's not okay, you will have to reshoot that movie.
Like, seriously?
That's what the work of censors board.
We still have such a...
That there is not existing.
So why so?
I don't know. That is why I'm telling you that movie industry is no longer what it used to be. And people have painted movie industry to be a demonic place. It is not demonic. It is our mindset that is demonic. Christians play movie. Listen, if I am asked to play a movie with a lady now, play the husband of a lady, or play the boyfriend.
As an evangelist you are.
I know I am interpreting a script. What is more important is the mindset. Once my mind is telling me that you are interpreting a role, you don't have anything to do with this lady. You've not come across this lady before.
Okay.
Maybe this person come from Enugu, and you are coming from Onitsha. Both of you met in Port Harcourt, and along the line you will lose guard, and because of the way the girl is behaving, you will now want to go extra mile. That is where the problem of our movie today lies. But if you understand that you are here on a purpose, that is to deliver your lines. I'm not saying you should not be friendly to people. In fact, each time I go to a location, the most important thing I do, if I see superstars, those who have gone ahead of me in the industry, I walk around, I greet them. A superstar or this, that. I love your movies, this, that. I greet. I've come in contact with Mai Humado. I've played with Zubi Michael. I've played with so many of them. I have never one day disrespected them. But today, because movie is done in the house, on the street, everywhere now, everybody is a producer now. Everybody is a director. Everybody, in fact, YouTube has made it possible for people to, if your person now, husband and wife is having misunderstanding, you will stay one place and you will video it. The next minute, you have uploaded it. So if those things were to go through screening, you know you will take your time, write script, bring people who know what they are doing. I've gone to a location where Chinwetilago condemned the script and say, the producer, you see this line, you see this English, it doesn't match what we are doing.
Father.
Remove it. I played as Chinwetilago's son in that movie. You understand me? What I'm trying to talk about is that the Nollywood we know before is no longer what it is today. But whatever it is today, it cannot affect my Christian life. Because each time I'm going to a set, I know who I am.
Okay, sorry, sir. I know you know who you are. And as they say, spiritual controls the physical. You know, in most cases, it's not everything that prayer averts.
Yeah.
It's not everything that prayer aborts. Sometimes it needs physical action.
Yeah.
So, regarding to what you just said, now let's assume as a pastor, you are in your office, you know, and a lady walks into your office for counseling, dressed inappropriately, or maybe the way she is dressed is not conducive for you. You are not okay with it. At that moment, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to walk her out, or are you supposed to start praying that God should give you the strength to overcome? Or are you supposed to walk out? Like, what are you supposed to do? Because if you answer this now, I will put it to the role you're playing in the movie industry as a Christian, not just a Christian, as a man of God, an evangelist. Now, playing a role as a husband that requires you to be in some romantic scene with a lady who is not your wife, not your girlfriend, she's not betrothed to you, you people are not courting, you find yourself in a romantic scene, kissing and cuddling, because the movie has to be perfect. The movie have to be shot to the apex of it, that it need to have the cinema standard. That's the grammar they are using these days. Your movie must be on cinema standard, meaning that you need to put in your best. So knowing fully well who you are as an evangelist, and you need to play this role, you are the one that can display and play this role to the satisfaction of the producer. How do you reconcile that particular scene with your identity as a man of God, not just a Christian, a man of God? Because you have to kiss, you have to cuddle, you have to romance. And you, as you said, it's not of what you're doing, is of the mind. You already know what you came there for. It's just to pass the message. But something happened. There was a kissing.
Okay. That this question is in two ways.
Yes.
Is in two ways now. First of all, if a girl walks into my office, dressed inappropriate, and I like this question, and I just want my viewers everywhere you are to try and understand this. And a whole lot of this has led a whole lot of pastors into doing what they never intended doing. But one thing is this: principle matters a lot. Okay. In whatever you are doing, have a principle. After your principle, you have to have a self-control. In the industry, okay, let me just finish the office. If I have a standard, if I have set a standard in the church where I am, that people canceling day, I must have the kind of dresses that people wear to come visit me. You understand me? That is, once I am posted to a place, I say I am the number one in this place as a resident pastor, where people will come and have their problem shared with me and see if God can bring in a solution to it. Then I must let my church know, the leaders and those in deliverance services and those who, because you can't just walk from outside and walk into my office. There are people that you must see and tell them, I want to see your pastor. You understand me? So having taught these people how people should dress before coming into my office, they are to stop these people that side, not to get to me if the thing that the person is wearing is not okay. Because listen, this man of God is not God of man. Is man of God. There is man in the person. And the man in the person speaks so much. The man in this person speaks so much.
Which is the flesh.
Yes, that it takes only those who have been able to subdue the man in them to withstand some kinds of temptation. Now listen, someone can walk into your office. You did not toast the person. You did not maybe ask the person to sleep with you, but your body reacted to it. You have committed sin before God.
To you is nothing. You've trained yourself as an actor, as a pastor, as a man of God, an evangelist. Now, after there, those things has nothing to do with you. But now, following the terms and the teachings of the Bible, now looking at your followers, how do you reconcile that? It's to their own detriment. Because I can't imagine myself seeing my pastor. Sir, are you married?
Yeah, no, I'm not married.
Okay. I can't imagine my pastor, who is not married, on a screenplay as an actor, kissing a lady that is not betrothed to him. They are not dating. He's not his girlfriend or wife. What they are actually doing there is real. It's not as if they are putting on, they are using a nylon to cover their mouth or mask and just do it like this. There was mouth contact, mouth-to-mouth kissing. They sleep on the same bed.
Jackson, go straight. Don't forget about that. Sleeping on the same bed and all that.
Okay, no problem. So how do you reconcile that? Because to you have overcome.
Okay, well, your question is really, really important and good also. And because with the reference you gave from Apostle Paul and all that, whatever you would do that will make your fellow brethren fall, I will say you don't do it.
Okay.
You don't do it, not because of your faith, like you said, not because of your own life again. In fact, the life you are living now is no longer either for yourself. You are living it for other people, and you must live an exemplary life to people following you. So based on that, there are scripts there are scripts that can be sent to me that I can actually reject.
Thank you.
Why I say this is because when they say that everybody in the movie industry was spoiled and all that, Chioma Chukwuka was actually making a movie and she was selecting roles. So it was made known to her that if she select role that she cannot become a superstar. But in her own quest and in her own decision, God actually brought her out as a superstar. She avoided every movie that has to make her kiss men. She played love scenes. She played with Emeka Ike, Jim Aika, Ramsey Noah, and all those things. But you cannot see her come in contact like a kiss to all those people as at that time. You understand? She made that decision for herself,
and she, for her.
Yes, she came up from a church. If you go through her life, she came up from a church where even the parents say you can't become an actress because of what is there. So she told them, she made a promise to them that she will be different. That she will definitely be different. And actually, whether she's spoiled or not, I know as at then that she was different. I watched her movies that closely, that she can actually be in love with all these guys, but there will be no contact of romance like kiss me, romance me, and all that was not there. She can hug an actor, but this kiss of a thing, I didn't see it. And so many other people can play that role. But our problem today is that even our guests, even if you decide to remove that kissing part, they will want to put it.
Okay.
Our ladies today will even play more than what is written on the script.
So how much to register for Actors Guild?
Agent Actors Guild of Nigeria. For River State chapter is...
Because what I'm asking, from what you said, and I think I'm interested, I really want to register. Because
you have to register, but say to yourself that you must...
If those girls can really act, and act more than what is written.
You are not okay.
Who am I not to register?
You are not okay. Okay, you want to go.
I am so going to register.
No. Like I said, you are a Bible scholar. From all the things that you have asked and said, I know and I understand that you are...
I'm not a pastor. I'm not an evangelist. Let me just help you.
Why are you answering for me now?
I'm not any of those.
Go and ask God. God will tell you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think we're going to pause it here for now because I will still bring you back. So, viewers, I want to really use this opportunity to thank you all for, watching, having patience enough to watch till the end. The person you're seeing in this studio is just at 2004.
Yeah. November 2004.
November 2004.
Yes,
an actor, Nollywood.
I remember.
No be small thing.
And with all this time, with the hustle, with the carry light for producers, carry boom mic, run around for all these things. But one thing about this life is that it's not everybody that must become a superstar in the industry. That's one thing about industry. People will make money from industry, but they are not superstars. Some people will become superstars that their face will be known all over the world. Yeah, some people will gain commercial face. This commercial face can carry you in Nigeria where if you want a contract, because you are known, they will assign a contract to you. That if you want to go abroad and do business, because you are known here in Nigeria, you are not a superstar. Because when I talk about superstar, I mean people that you can use and make movie, that sell movie. Every one of us act, but there
are faces that
yes. If you put my brother Zubi Michael on the movie now, despite that I've played with him, you understand? We are not in the same level when it comes to industry. A director can see his face, a marketer can see his face and buy a movie. Even if my own is there, drawn 10 times, the marketer will not see it. That's the difference. So he is a superstar in the industry. It doesn't mean that we're not stars. We are stars. As long as you are in the industry, you are acting, you are a star.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. And I want to just use 2 minutes to give you the opportunity to really introduce yourself to our audience, our viewers. They really need to know you because since 2004, November 2004, no be here. So you must have had enough movies for us. So just, you need to let the audience, our viewers, know you more better. Then I will.
All right. Like we said when we started, my name is Mr. Emeka Collins. Known as the $1 Entertainment. That's my entertainment name, $1 Entertainment. And being an Nollywood member since 2004, actually, when we registered, like I said, that was during my WAEC period. And so I had to get into school and forget about acting and all that. And after school, one thing about acting is that if you don't have anybody sponsoring you, you must work to sponsor yourself. And this period that you're working, you will not be on the screen because a whole lot of people will call you and you don't have chance because where you're working becomes your savior. They will decide if you will leave or not. So in the industry, if you are having someone who sponsors you, glory be to God. Because if they call you to come to Owerri and act, maybe the stipend they will give to you might be something that will be your transportation going and coming. They can feed you there, accommodate you there. But after the 3, 4, 5 days acting and you return, nothing in your pocket, you will decide to keep it apart and work and earn money. You know, Justsayit Kocha, when I met Justsayit Kocha, 2013, is called Jigaman in the industry. Justsayit Kocha is Americana. So he said something to me as at that time we played. He told me, why not move down to Enugu or Asaba? But I said, going to that place, I no get father there, I no get mother there, so I have to stay where I work. Anyway, like I said, and he said the presenter that will have more time again.
Sorry, before you round up, that now brings me to the question. What are you doing currently now?
Well, I am doing the work of God.
Okay.
And at the same time, I am back in the industry. Okay. As at a month or 2 months ago, I had my own movie produced, which is also going on in the YouTube now. So since I've been able to at least get 1 or 2 things that takes care of my immediate needs, I can now shift my attention to industry.
Okay.
Now I can call people that I know, let's make movie. It will be easier for us.
Okay.
Yes. And our viewers, please, no matter how dull it is, I want you to hacken onto us. If you have any question, please, the comment section is open. Drop your questions, drop anything that you want to know. In case you want to know other things concerning where we started from the native things to the present acting things, anything you want to know or how to go into industry, entertainment, don't hesitate to drop your questions. We'll answer you.
I will ask you how to join the industry. Okay, our viewers, thank you so much. This is Justsayit Podcast.
Yeah.
Carry and come anyhow in day. Talk. Just say it. We'll give you.
We'll go break them down.
Say it.
We'll go break them down for them.
Follow us, share, comment, like. Just we want to see your opinion on the comment section.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you.
Don't forget. So many of you will watch and leave the subscription button and go your way.
I'll follow them natively. I'll follow them.